everything makes it into the headlines, but we bring you the full story. Join Uchenna Cyril Anyoke, a renowned media personality and former president of the Nigerian Publishers Association, as he unpacks the real issues behind the news, from politics to public policy, economy to human rights. Nothing is off limits. Expert guest, in-depth conversation, local and global perspective. New episode every week on Facebook and YouTube. Watch now on Freedom Square TV. Follow for updates and behind the scenes clips. Beyond the headlines, beyond the news.
Good morning. You are watching Beyond the Headlines on Freedom Square TV. Of course, we are reaching you from our Enugu studios. Enugu is the capital of Southeast Nigeria. And of course, there's a slogan in Enugu that tomorrow is here. Today's conversation promises to be both timely and thought-provoking. As Nigeria's political landscape continues to evolve, attention is increasingly turning toward party strength, grassroots mobilization, and strategic positioning, especially ahead of the 2027 election cycle. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the All Progressives Congress and its prospects in Enugu State. And that's what our topic is: positioning APC for future electoral success in Enugu State. Or someone might even say the repositioning APC for future electoral success in Enugu State. For years, Enugu State has largely been dominated by the PDP since 1999, making it a challenging terrain for the APC. However, with shifting political dynamics, growing youth engagement, and renewed party restructuring, questions are being asked. And what are those questions? Can APC redefine its strategy in Enugu? What structures need to be strengthened? How prepared is the party for the future elections? These are issues we'll be unpacking just in a while. So we are being joined this morning to lead this conversation by a key political figure and a strategist. Of course, some people say he's a gentleman. I think I agree with them, he's a gentleman, but he's a politician all the same. He is Dr. Martin Chukwuemeke. He is the Enugu State Chairman of the APC. Doc, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Beyond Headlines.
Good morning, thank you for inviting me.
Okay, let me first of all congratulate you very warmly on a seamless transition from the chairman of the ruling party, then the People's Democratic Party, the party that won the election in 2023, to an opposition party, the APC, which is now the ruling party in Enugu State. Doc, you will agree with me, and you may not realize that within living memory, you are one person, one politician, to make such a seamless transition. I want to be contradicted. I want to be proved wrong. And if that is so, how does that make you feel? You were chairman of a ruling party, and there were circumstances that prompted that the entire structure of that party should move to another party. You moved to another party, and you retained your chairmanship. How do you feel about this?
Thank you very much. Well, I was chairman of the PDP, like you said, and now I'm chairman of APC. Not just that I retained, I was re-elected as the chairman of the new party. I feel so highly honored by that thing. I feel so happy. I feel, like you said, it hasn't happened before. People, sometimes when they see me, they tell me, chairman of two parties. I said, no, I was chairman of PDP, but now I'm chairman of APC. And I remember that APC was only opposition in Enugu. But broadly speaking, APC was the ruling party in Nigeria. And then, that broadly, PDP was also opposition in Nigeria. But in the microcosm of the state, PDP was then the ruling party, APC was the opposition. Now we have joined APC. Everybody knows why we joined, why we left PDP. The problem has not even been resolved up till now. So when we got there, the former ESCO expired, there was an election, and I was then elected chairman of APC which I feel so highly, very, very happy about that. That whatever we're doing in PDP, we're going to do it better even now in APC. Because when we were in PDP, we had only the governor, but now in APC, we are linked to the center, and a lot of goodies will come to it for the Enugu as a whole. So I feel happy about it, and still energized and prepared to do even more on the bar in the Enugu.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Okay, let's begin with even a bigger picture. How would you assess the current state of APC in Enugu State today?
The current state of APC is the party that has blossomed from almost an insignificant level to the climax, the preponderance of all our people in Enugu State being APC members. APC has moved from almost non-existence to prominence, because in the last election they didn't even come third. The APC scored only about 4,000, okay, maybe for the presidency about 4,000 votes, but in the governorship they didn't come third. PDP came first, Labour second, and I think they now came third, very, very distant third. And now, majority of people in the Enugu State, majority of both the elites, both the masses, now believe that APC is the place to go. And it's not just because we are answering APC, it's because the party, is just a platform for people to contest elections. And these days, people are looking at individuals, not a party, so to speak. So, as a party, APC has started doing well, apparently because of the person who is piloting the affairs of APC for now, which is our governor, Dr. Peter Besimba. So that people who believe in him have joined him wherever he is, and other areas are now being depleted, and that's where we are now. And I believe we're still going to get stronger, because many people who don't still understand why we left PDP have now understood it, and they know that it was a timely decision to have left at that time, and now to have gone to a place where I can tell you is the only party that is prepared for election in 2027. Every other person is still battling with existence. But APC is thinking of how to consolidate and win the election in 2027. So we are doing fine.
Okay, many people believe, and rightly so, those the naysayers may say not true, that Peter Besimba was actually visionary. It's like he saw tomorrow, and then he decided to leave PDP the time he did. Because as we speak, it is almost obvious that PDP is almost a carcass. A lot of effort being made to, in fact, my friends, Iboke said it was an intensive care unit. But somebody said sometimes people go into intensive unit and then they come out. Maybe their life will never be the same. So Peter saw it quite, the governor saw it quite all, and then decided to leave at the time he did. Otherwise, it would have been, the whole opinion would have been a kind of a mess now. But let's get back to APC. How do you plan to sustain what the outgone caretaker chairman Ben Umoye called splinter groups? Because prior to her taking over, the quote unquote original APC were like Afghanistan, have several camps, several splinter groups. So now that they've come under your effective control, how do you plan to ensure that all these splinter groups are brought together under one tent?
Well, that I must say that has already been done during the time of when there was a caretaker committee headed by Ben Moye, Dr. Ben Moye, who is presently the Deputy National Chairman of APC South. That means he's National Chairman, Deputy National Chairman for 17 states.
That's huge.
That's huge. The whole of the southern states. When he was there, even before we came on board, we knew there were different factions in APC. Ben was in part of one of them, and my other friend, Luis was one of them. With the arrival of for Peter Mba, he saw the need to reconcile all the groups. Since the governor entered, before he entered, there were a lot of people saying they won't let him in. Do you remember that? Before we entered, we actually entered the APC on the 14th of October last year. And before then, people were saying, we don't want him, let him stay in PDP, we're going to come and defeat him. Now, when he joined, the smartest thing he did was that he now reconciled the two major factions. There are actually two major factions. Those of Uchuku and those of Ben. We now became one. Then we now brought in people from PDP, Labour, and there are now one united APC in Enugu State. If the government didn't do that, this thing wouldn't have been seamless. But before you know it, someone will go to court. Yeah. Like it's happening in some other parties now, saying that they didn't do this and that. People were already prepared to go to court until the governor intervened, did a very perfect job. Anywhere we go to now as APC, you will see all our friends there. You will see Ugochukwu there. You will see Ben there. You will see we are working together. Even when we came on board, as we had caretaker at the state, we also had caretaker at the government and caretaker at the wards. These were made up of people from PDP, APC, and Labour, taking each group into consideration. So that splinter group doesn't exist anymore. The government did a masterly job on that issue, and that will continue until we deliver 2027, which is almost here. Because we have less than 1 year.
Yeah. Now, there's one success recorded by your predecessor, and that was the e-registration. It started slowly, but over time, it gained momentum, and there was this almost massive e-registration. How do you plan to solidify on this? Because of course, registration is an ongoing thing, and never. The more you register, the more you are emboldened by your membership. So, what plans do you have to continue this e-registration?
The e-registration started and ended before the convention, before the congresses, because that's the normal constitutional provision. When you're doing convention or things like that, you stop registration, submit your register, and use that register to do the election. Now, 2-3 days back, we have started e-registration again. It's going to continue, like I said, it's an ongoing thing. But before the election, it has to be stopped. Registers will be submitted to INEC so that they will know those who are in the register. If you come to contest election, your name is on the register. You're wasting time.
You're on your own.
That's why people who are interested in politics, who want to contest elections, must make sure that their names are in the register. And the new e-registration is an innovation which we must give credit to the present government. Because before then, you see what they call them, bandits coming from across the border.
Yes.
People are registered as voters. But now you see, it's a station where you cannot register as a party member if you're not a Nigerian. For a Nigerian, you have to get your NIN. Once you have NIN, you're a Nigerian. If somebody is able to come from outside and manages to get NIN, he becomes a Nigerian. But not that time of everybody can go and register. Can't carry member. You just carry. People can even go and print. Papers, because then it used to be cards that are printed where people fill the forms. And now, when you do it, it comes from online, and you print out your membership card. So our party was the first that started it. Others thought it was a joke, but they have started doing it now, because it makes sense. If you have 10 million voters in Nigeria that are genuine Nigerians, rather than having 20 million Nigerians, the 20 million voters, where more than half are non-Nigerians.
Okay, there's a big hurdle that I see in the horizon. Until this movement from PDP to APC, Enugu has a low APC voter history. It's not in doubt. People wonder what will be your strategy to make the APC truly popular at the grassroots, especially in rural areas, to ensure that the popularity that PDP enjoyed under which Peter Mba was elected is translated to the APC, because it's critical.
Right. Well, some of the things that we're doing is one, not just the allies. Because anywhere you now see Peter Mba, who is the APC governor for now, you also see Solomon Chime, who was PDP governor, but now an APC member. You also see Ivan Uwai, who was PDP governor, but is now APC member, APC member. So all those who are now seeing them together will now know that it looks that we have all moved. All those who are followers of those governors will know that we have moved. Those who knew me as a PDP chairman and now know that I'm APC chairman, who believe in me, they will also move. One guy once said that, not trying to blow him, trumpet anything, that he knows me as a good man. That he doesn't know APC for being a good person. And since I've gone there, there was something good in APC.
And I bet you
that is going to join me to go and find out what that is.
Yes.
We're also already doing what we call community mobilization and talking to.
Yes.
We have a group that just started in Enugu North, Electoral zone in Soka, pioneered by people who call themselves community volunteers. They have taken upon themselves to go to the communities to begin to tell people what is happening in Enugu. That Peter Mba is a PDP person. Peter Mba is actually working. He has done quite a lot. The man said specifically, one of the leaders said specifically, that some people from Suga would say that no more hear Peter Mba online. Peter Mba is not doing anything for us. But some of them don't know that one of the biggest projects he's doing, which is the Ugogo Opi Road, is being done from Suga. So he said, when people go and you tell them, you have these projects going on in your communities, you have this road going on. But the part of the problem they have is that they said they don't even know who is Peter Mba. Right? And the governor has prepared. We already have a timetable to start ward tour this month. The governor is going to visit all the wards in Enugu State, 260 of them. He must visit them, starting in less than 1 week from now. He will continue to do that until the end of next month. When he will now, so we are talking to our people, telling them our party is a party. Because when you now go to communities and say that those who were conducting the PDP ward meetings, are still those who are conducting the APC ward meetings, you now know it's the same thing. Okay. So that's part of our strategy.
Yes, in fact, you took the word from my mouth. I was going to ask about the word-to-word mobilization, but I thank God that you already said, you just said that. The youth population, they remain critical in any country, and in Nigeria, and in Enugu State in particular. And so my question would be, is there any specific outreach programs for the youth, apart from what government is doing through the SME and other things? Is there a kind of party program for the youth? Because they actually form the largest voting population.
Well, you won't exclude what SME is doing, because the government carries out party programs.
Yes.
So what the government is doing is part of what the party has actually agreed to do. The SME program is very, very good, and it's actually targeting the youth. The governor has recently appointed SSA on youth in the 3 sectoral zones. That is a very big sense of belonging being given to them, that you have members of their age bracket being brought into governance, being brought into managing the affairs of the people. The constitution of the APC in running a struggling party is that the youth is between 18 and 40. And we should make sure that nobody who is above 40 cannot be a youth leader, things like that. So government is also engaging the youth. Everything we do, we have a youth aspect to it. We have had some of youth rallies in the state, and we intend to continue. What we are going to do now, the convention we went, it was supposed to be for delegates, both statutory and elected delegates. But because of the governor's plan for the youth, he now said the youth leader was now asked to mobilize about between 70 and 100 youths that will go to Abuja and join, just to observe what's happening They might not be going to vote. But you know, people like going to participate, going to be part of what's happening. And these people were taken to Abuja and brought back by air. kept in hotel. And on return, they were also giving some stipends.
I was really going to talk about the excitement I saw, not just for the youth, but for the women, that for the first time in their living history, didn't spend their money entering the, as we call it, aeroplane. An aeroplane. But I saw them singing, jubilating, that for the first time in their lives, that they've been able to, something they never thought was going to happen.
Exactly.
It was not just the youth, it was, I also saw the women. And when they came back, you could see the excitement. It's something that is novel.
It's all over the town. It's still all over the town.
Yes, it's something that is novel. But there's an issue that, of course, I won't let you go without even asking that question. If you look at, you just said it, former Governor Sullivan Chime, former Governor Uguaye, and virtually all the major stakeholders in the PDP are now in this. It looks like a very over-bloated party, so to speak. In fact, it's no longer that it is big. It appears to be over-bloated.
Exactly.
And now we are going to face primaries. Likely, because all of them will not get a ticket.
Of course.
They all have eyes on one office or the other. So when they don't get it, how do you plan to manage those who are going to lose out of the primaries?
Well, what happens is that in politics, people have learned to engage more in negotiation. Because if you are contesting from the same party, a particular post, and there are 3 of you contesting for it, and 2 of you are eminently qualified, then the thing is to discuss. They will all agree. But one thing that works for us is the issue of zoning and rotation. If you're coming into the contest and it's not your area that is supposed to produce, it becomes easy for us to convince you to accept some other things. Because some people actually come to contest not to have a bargaining power. When you know it's not your turn, they come and begin to pull heavy weight to tell you, relax now. Maybe in the next 4 or 8 years, it will be your zone to do it. We use that rotation to calm people down. Also, we think of people who have chances of winning the election. If 2 people are contesting, you can easily see within you that Mr. A has a better chance than Mr. B. Even though Mr. B might have more money to throw around, if it's something that you can bought with money, you can buy the primary with money, but he might go into the general election and we'll have a problem. So we use some of those things to negotiate and make sure that at the end, we most likely are going to be ending up with consensus. Because these days, the new electoral law, the act which we are still studying, it's a very complex document. We will tell you that it's either direct or consensus. Most of these conventions have been done by consensus, because there's no way you're going to get everybody involved in the party to come and vote. So we will try to manage it. We will not leave, because that's what causes people to leave party. When you say to hell with you, we're not giving to you, the person walks out, joins another party, and begins to cause trouble. But if you know, the most important thing is, in Igbo land, they say, if you have a patient dog, it's the first meal. If you relax, and at the end, some things you never expected will come to you. But again, without blowing somebody's trumpet, I use myself to give you examples of such things. When I was contesting for things, I never got them. I said, I won't contest. I won't contest for anything again.
Yes.
And I stopped contesting, and they started giving me space. So that is how I keep telling people: once you lie low, show loyalty. We had a meeting yesterday with the state executive. I think one of the things I want you to do is try to be a good person by yourself. That will help transcend or translate to our governor's own attitude. I mean, how people will view him. If people who work for him are good people, consider others, and they will say this governor must also be like his workers, and we will be selling him to others as well. So those are some of the things we're going to do to make sure we don't have unnecessary rancor, unnecessary dispute and people running away, forming parallel structures.
Okay, at the point PDP, as it were, under the leadership of Peter Abba, was leaving for APC, one of the things they touted was connecting to the center. And so far, can you let us know, within the short period that you people have now connected to the center, what has come to Enugu State? Well, how far? What is the difference? Is it as clear as I said, the difference is clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so what has happened within the period that you've connected to the center?
All right. A lot has happened. I'm not able to enumerate all of them here. But one major thing that has happened is the concessioning of Enugu Airport. Enugu Airport has been concessioned, and the Enugu State, the private firm, and the Enugu State is a major player in that particular concessioning. If we were not connected to the center, then it would have been easy for us to get that. Within the next, Enugu Air has about 6 aircraft by now.
Yeah.
The governor, we started with 3, now we have 6. The governor said before the end of the year it's going to be 20. And by July of this year, by July actually said, Enugu Air is going to be doing international flights. If you want to go to UK, US, anywhere in the world, you don't need to go to Lagos or go to Abuja again. Now, if we see what has happened in Enugu Airport, for example, before when you want to travel, you have to probably book your ticket. Start looking for ticket about a week before you set time for you to travel. But I can tell you now, if you want to go to Enugu now, Abuja now or Lagos, go to the airport. You still have available flight that will take you to the airport within today. Within those days, once it's 11 o'clock, no more flights will come to Enugu or leave Enugu. Then now we have morning, afternoon, and evening flights. This is because of what that connection to the center has done. Also, you know that we had a minister who was of APC instruction, and when we came in, we now had a minister that was directly appointed, submitted by the governor, because ministers are usually submissions from the governor. Now we have a minister who was a member of the Executive Council, and former Attorney General, Kingsley Ude, who is now Minister for Science, Innovation, Science and Technology.
Yes.
It's a big thing for us, even though the governor is in his intelligence and the way he reasons. In order to, what he does, he tries to restrict, make sure that it doesn't excite people going into opposition or thinking that he's not doing the right thing. See, the former minister came from a particular government and replaced him with another minister from another government. Even before then, people from other zones were already jostling for the ministerial appointment. Peter Mba should submit his own. He submitted his own, but he has to make sure you don't generate unnecessary rancor from those who have the minister already. Now, also, some part of the things that will be happening, several times the president has been to Enugu, the vice president has been to Enugu. I believe that with our being in this party now, a lot are going to happen. I might not be able to tell you what that will happen, but our governor was immediately made chairman of a committee that chaired the
Police institutions, police institutions.
Police institutions and security institutions. He was there. Each time the president travels, he sees Governor Peter Mba as an important person to accompany him because of his way of reasoning, because of the way he has attracted things to Enugu. He knows that he can bring ideas to attract things to Nigeria. So, and many things I cannot mention here. We also had, also that the Enugu State just joined APC. But all zonal APC meetings now holding Enugu used to be held in Owerri, because Enugu is the capital of the East. So we have taken that over now. We just had our election, and somebody from our state, our former caretaker chairman, Dr. Ben Woye, emerged as the deputy national chairman of APC South.
But as we inch our way to 2027 elections, I'll be asking the chairman to tell our viewers why in Enugu, what are the reasons Enugu should now vote for APC in 2027 under the leadership of Peter Ndubuisemba, governor of Enugu State.
All right, thank you. Well, I believe most of us who were here when the governor started campaigning and eventually wrote his manifesto, you can see that he's taking the manifesto one by one. What he has done so far, some people will tell you, is beyond what some people did in 8 years. But what he has done so far is so magnanimous, so great that in 3 years, less than 3 years actually, he did that. So what's going to happen in the remaining 5 years? There's this guy they call Olaga, the musician, who played the music during the campaign. When he said that those who have seen what's happening in Enugu now, sometimes even me, when I drive around Enugu is now what we call pothole free. Unless you go to the areas where they have not started working. He has said that he's going to do all the roads in Enugu municipality. He will do more than 10,000 kilometers of roads. And when you're driving through the street, you can't even see toothpick or things like that. The first time I traveled out of the country, I was just saying, if you finish picking the teeth, you cannot drop it. You cannot drop it on the road because you will not see anything like it there. Then Nigeria was pothole everywhere. So we look at the things he's doing. This is the only governor that has done something that has never been done in this country. Doing work in every ward of this state. Every ward in this state has what we call smart schools, green smart schools. And what that means is that every ward, it used to be, you go and tell the ward what they're going to do for them. But now, what happens is that the wards are now telling us what government is doing for them. Every smart school is costing over $1 billion. And when you think about 260 of them going on simultaneously, they're going to be equipped with things that when you begins to work, you'll be wondering, is this really Nigeria? Because what is copying is what is happening overseas. But they're going to teach them robotics, AI, and a lot of things. I don't even know them because they didn't school in that particular period. But when they talked about experiential learning, you learn by experience, not just come to classroom and cram things and go to vomit it in the exams. Every ward is also having what we call type 2 health centers. PHC, primary health centers.
You are commissioned in Nobacco.
On Sunday. Yes. That thing is happening in every ward. Remember, we had health centers in almost all communities. But we're not going to have a health center that has all the facilities and also has quarters for the nurses. So it's going to be a 24/7 health facility. Anytime you come, you can have your attention. Babies, he said that one thing he hates is that for women to die for having children. Because childbirth or pregnancy is not an illness, it's a normal physiology. So people dying out of it is providing not making adequate provision for their care. So this is some of the things that have been done in the world. He also said they're going to do 10 kilometers of road in every ward. If you go to every ward now, most of those governments, in collaboration with the government, state government, are doing tarred roads. Before, when some of you were in the government, they said that local governments are not supposed to tar roads.
No, I did that Kwasha road.
No, but you did.
I did that Kwasha road.
When they say local governments are not supposed to tar roads,
yes.
I say they're just trying to run away from their functions.
They can tar roads.
But now, all the local governments are doing a lot of tarred roads. And They're also doing a lot of empowerment for women and children. Then other things the government has done. Look at when you see the International Conference Center that was left for over 16 years.
That was a signature project.
Yes, over 16 years. The governor came, when he started it, it was finished within 6 months. You can imagine the amount of money spent there. If it was done immediately after Morocco left, we would have taken less money. But before they did it, many things have gone depleted and they now almost like starting afresh. But look at what that place is now. Any money. The only facility that made it possible for us to hold the Niger Bar station. We never had that, we never have held that. And after that, the bar people said that this is the best they've had. That facility is second to none, I can say, even in this country. Because when you walk in there, you see different halls. You think it's one you've been before, but there are so many different halls. That one is one particular thing that is dead, which people are so happy about. Look at our hotel presidential that was left moribund for many, many years. You keep wondering, was it that those people didn't know it should be functioning? Hotel presidential is still functioning in Port Harcourt, State. It's the same age, same period with Enugu. Now, everyone has brought it back and it's functioning. Look at Niger Gas. Now, he's going to bring back the Avo. Yes, that's what I was going to
Avo.
That's the one they're going to bring it back. The oil, the vegetable oil something.
Yes,
Natch. So, now in every ward, every government festival and every ward, they're going to have what we call farm estates. Every government will have farm estates that will have hectares of land being cultivated, and that is to make sure that food sufficiency is becomes part of this country, so that insufficient food will no more happen here. When we start doing that, it's going to provide jobs for the teeming youths, because they're going to have both the agricultural thing and even the processing and the possibility of exporting some of those things. Those are some of the things that he's doing, and our people are being aware of it. The people know also that the cost of food is also coming down, not just for Enugu State, but even for the entire country, because you know how much we paid for rice 2024 Christmas, how much we paid for last year's Christmas, and even now it's still going down. By the time all these farm estates begin to function, food is a very primary thing for everybody. They will now talk about the security issue, because the governor established that command and control center from where you can watch the whole of Enugu State and monitor security. It used to be very bad for security in this state, but recently there's been an improvement, because people say it still happens. Even in America, people still suffer insecurity things, but you have to talk about the degree of the involvement. So some of these things that the government has done, I wonder what else you want him to do, because it's still going to be improved on it. All the roads presently, there are about 1,000 roads being done, over 1,000 roads, but people still believe. Some people who are what you call naysayers will still tell you that he's not doing anything. One man who was with us suddenly left and went to talk to the traditional ruler in their zone, telling him to come and join him so they can make Enugu to look good. Then I told him, do you think that man telling you to want to make Enugu look good is normal? When you see a madman, he comes here, he will take it and pour it away, throw it away. Everything is staying fine though. It looks into him as if they are not in order. He starts scattering things. So anybody who says that Enugu is not looking good must have his brain examined. So the governor has done quite a lot to show that people really need what is doing what people need. Someone mentioned the flyover at Emene, the Kevin side. Now that flyover, when it's finished, even before finishing, you can see how it has eased transportation on that place.
It changed the environment.
Yes. The other major thing that the governor is doing, apart from the roads he's doing everywhere, is the place he calls Enugu Smart City. Enugu Smart City is somewhere around the minute. If you get to where they call Proda, turn right, the whole of that place is going to be a different thing. He says that when he finishes that place, it will be like Dubai. There won't be any place like it in Nigeria. And I'm telling you, when you go to Abuja now and come to Enugu, there's almost no difference, so to speak, because the roads in Enugu are so clean. When he finishes the Enugu Smart City, you live there, you will never go there with generator, because there will be light there 247. If you live there, you cannot go there with gas cylinder, because they're going to pipe gas to all the buildings. If you live there, you're not going to need to buy data, because you're going to have free Wi-Fi in the other place. If you live there, you will not see electric poles anywhere. Every cable will be on the ground. There will be what we call center sewerage system. It will be a city that you've never seen anything like it before. So all the things he's doing are just novel, so to speak. And by the time they begin to generate impact, you see a lot of housing estates also coming up. Then by the time they finish, he also has plan. In this particular budget of this year, the budget of renewed momentum is there's planned to build, I think, 15,000 housing units for the people of Enugu, for the people. And he says that he would like a station by the time he is leaving office, that every civil servant retiring will retire to his own home. Because that's one major thing that civil servants suffer. Be able to raise money from your rent from your salary to pay for rent. When you now finish, if you haven't had children who are well to do, who pay for your rent or who will build a house for you, begin to suffer, always borrowing money, asking for help to pay for rent. But a station whereby every person who is retiring retires to, even if it's 2-bedroom apartment that belongs to him, it's part of his dream. What he's doing, then I can talk about the new air. You can imagine all those women who went to Abuja. Some of them have never been to Abuja before. There are 2 women that came from Maniri who said they have now gone beyond the Enugu. Not talk of going to Ebola for anything like that. But they now went to Abuja. Not that they went to Abuja, they went to Abuja in plane and slept in hotel. They don't know what they call what it means sleeping in hotel.
I had a woman the other night went trying to flush his toilet.
So such women and all their dependents can never think of anything that will be against Pitamba. That's one thing. They're not the youth that went as well. And this is going to be happening regularly. So the next convention, maybe another group will go, and so on. It's a thing that people will want to say because of this. I will know. I mean, there's one man used to say, if you come to, maybe I should now say something like, if you come to international conference and look at it, you can never forget Pitamba. If you come to Presidential Hotel, you cannot forget it. Now there's renovation going on going to start in stadium. So they're going to host a festival by October. And also remember that the governor has also, they have awarded, or in the process of awarding a contract for the Games Village to be put in place again for that same festival coming up in October or November this year. The government has done quite a lot and been giving appointments to people from different areas. I don't think we have any issue with voting Pitamba. The APC, not today, which you can say is just renamed the PDP, so to speak, because all of us, this state belonged then to PDP, but now it belongs to APC. And Pitamba has done quite a lot to endear himself to the heart of Enugu, that we can say, just say that your party is Pitamba. It is riding on APC platform. If it was possible for people to go on, what they call it, personal
Independent
candidacy, then he would have done that and he would still have won. So I think that he has done quite a lot to endear the people Inde himself to the heart of Enugu.
Okay, so what will Enugu now, for a man who has done as many things as you described, for a man who has touched the lives of many people as you described, wards, communities, urban areas, what do they owe to this man?
Well, what they owe to him is, one, they're praying for him. Long life and good health. Again, just support him for a second term and vote for him for a second term. We also know that in Enugu there's a tradition. Tomorrow went twice. Solomon went twice. Ivan went twice. So why would the working governor not go twice? So I believe he will have a second chance to do a second term.
I'd like to end this conversation on these very positive notes. Why wouldn't a working governor go twice? And that's the way we want to wrap up this conversation, and want to thank the the chairman of APC, chairman of PDP before, who have transited to APC. And you know, I guess each time we come here, there's always a history. When we were here the first time, there was history being made. And now you're here again, the history has been made. So we want to thank you, and we do sincerely hope that you carry this gentlemanly behavior into the APC. You know, before you joined the APC, they played the Keban at Ethiopia every day. The Keban at Ethiopia every day. And we've seen some kind of calm. Yes, because it's people that define situations. We've seen some calm, and we believe that you keep that. So we want to thank you for this opportunity. I know you are very busy. We just called you just yesterday and you are here. But of course, this is the season for talking to the people.
Oh, really?
This is the season you have to talk to the people. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for those watching us, you can join the conversation by sending your thoughts and questions via our social media platforms at Freedom Square TV, YouTube, and Facebook. And be part of the conversation. Until next week, join us for another interesting edition of Beyond the Headlines. Have a lovely day ahead of you.